not done. We got more quick hits.
Yes.
Paul Pogba has a new home, Jules. He's on his way to the Principality.
Yeah, that's right. 2-year contract. I'm so happy for him. My boy, obviously, Paul Pogba, who's had very difficult last few months and couple of years, but has got high hopes for this. I think it's great for him to go to a club like Monaco where they will need his experience, they will need his talent. Obviously, I think this is great news for Monaco because it's a bit of a coup on the transfer market. We don't know yet in what shape physically he is or how long it will take him to be fit enough to play at that kind of level, Champions League level, Ligue 1 level, maybe the national team level, etc. But it's great that he's there, that he will be in that environment. They really believe that he can relaunch his career with them. He certainly believes it so too. I think for Ligue 1, it's a wonderful news because in what has been a difficult time for the league, financially especially, to attract somebody like him is amazing. So I'm super happy. I can't wait to see how it goes. I hope obviously that it goes well, but I think everybody knows also that there's a possibility that things are not going to work out maybe. So we will have to see. But I'm just so happy that he's back in the game.
Curious how it works with him and all those young players they have there too.
Bayern keep getting linked with left wingers, Gab, and this time it's Arsenal's Gabriel Martinelli with a fee of 50 million euros according to Bild.
Yeah, it's funny. Last year we had Nico Williams. Now we have this guy. I think if you're Bayern, I don't see this need for wingers. Yes, Coleman and Gnabry are older and Sané's gone. But dude, just let Musiala flourish. Maybe you can play 3-4-2-1. Maybe your width comes from other positions. You have Olise there. I would not get involved in this. And then I noticed that, look, Martinelli's contract expires in 2027. So obviously, this is one of those situations where maybe somebody's trying to maybe make a deal here because obviously, if he doesn't extend with Arsenal, then his transfer value, you presume, would go down. As far as I know, Martinelli is happy where he is. So yeah, I don't see this happening. I'm not sure it makes much sense. Joel Quansah is reportedly close to a move to Bayer Leverkusen from Liverpool. The fee is 30 million euros plus 5 million in bonuses. Does this make sense to you, Jules?
Financially, it makes sense for Liverpool because he's a homegrown player, obviously. So this will go straight into the profit boxes and bank account. And they wanted to sign another centre back regardless anyway. So it makes sense. I think it's a lot of money for him. I don't think he's worth that much. Bayer Leverkusen clearly sees something that I can't really see right now and that I haven't seen all season long either. But good luck to him. I think he also wanted to play more than what he did last season. Slot never really trusted him, especially after that first half against Ipswich in the opening game of the season where he was taken off. And there was not really any way back after that. So I think everybody would be happy. Liverpool get really good money, I think, for him. He will go to a place where I think when you invest that kind of money on a player, is to play him. So you think that Ten Hag would play him. And he will get the minutes that he wants at a top level, playing the Champions League and all of that. So let's see how he develops over there.
The only thing I would say from Liverpool's perspective is there was some suggestion that, they might play back three with Frimpong and whatnot. I know it's a bit of a numbers game now, but they pretty much have to bring somebody in now because they are really, really short given Jogo's injuries over the years and obviously with Quansah gone as well, right?
Yeah, but that was always the plan even before Quansah was going. They were always going to sign another centre-back. So let's see who they go for and what kind of profile and then the competition between that new guy plus Konate and Van Dijk. L'équipe in France report that Randal Colomwani is drawing interest from Chelsea. Gab, I guess this is because Juve can't afford to keep him?
It's a funny one because Juve we're almost briefing this. Oh, did you see what L'Equipe wrote? They want Randall. Chelsea want him. I think Juventus definitely want to keep him. The loan fee that Paris Saint-Germain charged them, my understanding was very, very high. And Jules, you know better than me. I would assume Paris Saint-Germain would rather let him go on a permanent deal. I don't know that he fits the Chelsea profile because he's older than the guys they normally sign. But actually, if you have a guy who can play center forward or winger for you, which he can certainly do, that would fit the bill. I think Juve are going to try to negotiate the price down and extend the loan, right, Jules? I mean, that makes sense.
Yeah, he wants to stay as well. So let's see. There will be an obligation to buy, I think, though. That's the only thing. So let's see how high they can go for that.
Rooney Bargi to Barcelona for a cut price for 2 million euros is very close to being done. Jules, are they just accumulating talent at this point? Because don't they have a guy in his position who's pretty good?
Yeah, although you can maybe like mold them into something else, like a number 10 maybe, or even a winger on the other side. Rooney Barges was super highly rated when he was younger. Maybe his development in first team professional football hasn't been as quick as we thought it could be in Denmark. But at that price, you just take the risk. And Sufati is going to leave, for example, probably to Monaco, but he's going to leave for sure. And even if Nico Williams comes, this is a young player that will learn. And even if really it doesn't work out or he wants more minutes at some point, surely you'll be able to let him go for more than 2 million euros. So in this one, I think it's a no-brainer from a Barcelona point of view.
And the fact that it went down to 2 million euros, there's all sorts of contractual and agent issues there, which I think is maybe also what put off certain clubs. I think we need to be clear on that too. It's time! It's time! It's Texter time! L'Equipe in France reports that John Texter has reached a deal to sell his Crystal Palace shares, Jules. Great news for Palace, and I guess great news for Lyon too.
Yeah, and I don't know if for John Textor if it's great news or not. I mean, good news, I think, for Woody Johnson, who is already an owner in US sports and coming into Europe for football, buying those shares at Crystal Palace for around 200 million euros. So JT, to be fair to him, will make a bit of a profit on how much he bought those shares, even if, as we've been saying many, many times, that meant nothing to him because he had absolutely no voice at that club or no power at all or anything like that. But this is the end of a long saga that felt that would never end, but now it's close to an end, and you would think that is good for Crystal Palace because that means they will be able to play freely in the Europa League next season, as they won't be the sort of multi-club ownership that threaten their non-participation to it or the participation to it. And for Texter, he can focus now on putting his Eagle Football Group onto the stock exchange and see where that leads him.
Woody Johnson, of course, the former U.S. ambassador to the United Kingdom, as you mentioned, owner of the New York Jets, and also Johnson & Johnson Pharmaceuticals.
Yes, of course.
That's him. That's the
him.
company he inherited from
few coins he has.
from Grandpa.
Yeah,
and his first name, by the way, not really Woody. His full name is Robert Wood Johnson, but he goes by Woody because rather than Wood, for obvious reasons, I assume.
Speaking of owners who maybe should sell up, the Premier League have written to Todd Burley over his shares in a ticket broker company.
Yeah, it's not just a ticket broker. It's a ticket broker called Vivid Seats, which, in the view of the Premier League, they operate because they don't operate in the United Kingdom. I guess they're allowed to do this abroad, but they operate in a way that's not quite illegal, but unauthorized, and they're officially on Chelsea's blacklist, the Premier League's kind of blacklist, in terms of secondary markets. And hey, look, Todd Bolleys happens to be an investor and a director there, while also being a minority owner of a football club. This was raised by Chelsea Supporters Trust a while back, and the Premier League, to their credit, have taken interest in the case and are actively speaking. I don't understand why. We've talked about before about blind trusts, right? With Crystal Palace, maybe Todd Bolleys can put his Vivid Seats shares in a blind trust, or maybe just get out completely.
Sure,
and
get out. Yeah.
Understand that you're operating in a different culture, and maybe you should be doing this thing.
The former Basel coach Fabio Celestini is the new manager at CSKA Moscow. Gab, but this could be problematic for him. Why?
It was problematic, and this is drawing a lot of attention to the scene. Of course, is Swiss. CSKA Moscow are owned by a financial institution called VEB, which, according to Swiss authorities, but also the European Union, most other people's directly financing the war effort in Russia and the invasion of Ukraine. Already Celestini would have been under sanction in terms of bringing his money back to Switzerland. I know it sounds crazy that it's actually difficult to bring money into Switzerland, but I guess times change. So he's getting a lot of flack. People asking, why are you doing this? You know what's behind it. I think the reality is he felt he deserved a better job and in Europe, and then said, well, maybe I'll just go and cash in. But it's an example, I think, of how once again real life and football collide. But certainly the reporting out of Switzerland suggests that whatever money he gets, he may never be able to take it out of Russia.